Today we're going to be talking about Lesson 4, which is on page 33. And the title of this is Proportional and Non-Proportional Relationships. We're going to talk about what are proportional relationships and how do we see if something is proportional or not. So here's the first example. It says Ms. Cochran is planning a year-end pizza party for her students. Ace Pizza offers free delivery and charges $8 per medium pizza. Complete the table to determine the cost for different numbers of pizzas ordered. So, here they've filled in part of the table for us. If there was one pizza, it costs $8. Two pizzas would cost $16. Three pizzas would cost $24, because it's $8 per pizza. 4 pizzas would cost $32, and 5 pizzas cost $40. So that would be the cost depending on which or how many pizzas this class decided to get. Alright, now down here it says for each number of pizzas, fill in the boxes to write the relationship of the cost and number of pizzas as a ratio in simplest form. So here they started with 16 over 2, which they got from right up here. They're going to simplify that. Let's see, they divided the bottom by 2, which means you need to divide the top by 2. So that's a ratio of 8 to 1. Then they took a look at the next box, the $24 for 3 pizzas. To simplify this, we could divide the top and bottom by 3. And that would be 1 in the denominator and an 8 in the numerator. So that's what we get when we simplify that second ratio. Here, they only fill in part of the ratio for us, but if it's $32, that's 4 pizzas. And to simplify this, you can divide by 4. 8 over 1. And let's see, for 5 pizzas, that's $40. And we can divide the top and bottom by 5 in this case to get 8 over 1. Okay, so it says, what do you notice about the simplified ratios? Well, what can we see when we simplified all of the ratios? All the simplified ratios are equivalent. All of those simplified ratios end up being equivalent. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to the next page where we're going to learn a few new vocab terms. Alright, up here at the top, it's talking about proportional relationships. It says two quantities are proportional if they have a constant ratio or unit rate. What that means is, take a look down here. In our pizza example from the previous page, it was 8 to 1, 6 to 2, or 16 to 2, 24 to 3, 32 to 4, 40 to 5, which was just a constant ratio of 8 over 1. We saw when we simplified all of those ratios, they all equaled 8 over 1. So they had a constant ratio, or we could say they had a constant unit rate, because this is also their unit rate. So because all of the ratios above are equivalent ratios, and they have the same value, that means that this problem right here, the relationship between the cost and the pizzas, is proportional. So I'm going to draw an area over here. And we're going to write the relationship between the cost and the number of pizzas is proportional, because they all had the exact same unit rate, or they were the exact same ratio when you simplified them. So the relationship between the cost and the number of pizzas is proportional. If it is not proportional and they do not all have the same unit rate or a constant ratio, that's when we would use the term non-proportional, which just means not proportional. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to skip example 1. You can come back to it if you'd like to look at another example. But the last thing I want us to do is take a look at example 2. It says Uptown Tickets charges $7 per baseball game ticket plus a $3 processing fee per order. Is the cost of an order proportional to the number of tickets ordered? So is the cost to the tickets ordered proportional? So what we're going to do is we're going to see, do each of these have the same unit rate or a constant ratio? So what I'm going to have us do is just write down the ratios over here and then find the unit rate. So let's start with 10 to 1. That is already a unit rate. So I don't need to divide it at all. That's already my unit rate. The second part of the table is 17 to 2. To find a unit rate here, we'll divide by the denominator. Oops, divide by 2. And that would equal 8.5 over 1. All right, I'm going to stop right here, and I'm not going to keep going because I know that the unit rates have to be the same in order for this to be proportional. But what I already saw from that first two is that these are not proportional, because one has a unit rate of 10 to 1, the next one has a unit rate of 8.5 to 1, so I know that this is non-proportional. Because they do not have the same unit rates. All right, and what I'd like you to do, if you still have some time left, is go ahead and go down to this Got It section, Part B. You can read through the problem, fill in the table, and then right over here where the arrow points, let us know, is the relationship proportional or non-proportional?